Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7 Now today. Got some RTA for you guys. So, as of recording right now, I think ML Luna will be coming out in a few hours. And yeah, so we'll see what we can do in RTA before she gets released. I've been thinking of like content to put out for you guys to kind of, you know, switch things up on the channel to kind of mix things up and keep things fresh. And one of the things I'm considering is actually dropping a tier list, at least from my perspective, of the meta. Of course, it's going to be different when you go from creator to creator, player to player, depending on their rankings, depending on where they are. But I think you've dropped a tier list about just characters that you can build and where I think they place in the current meta right now, right? So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. Would love to hear your feedback on this stuff before I commit to making it. It's always good. Okay, so let's go ahead and just focus here. So Blood Moon Haste picked up on the other side. No Ron. Actually kind of like that. Let's go DDR, and might as well go for a knight of some sort. Do I really want Dragon Bride Senya, or do I want to go for something like an A Tywin instead? I think Tywin's going to be pretty strong here. No cleansing unit on the other side as of right now, which is pretty good. Dragon Bride Senya's going to get picked up. That's perfectly fine by me. A Tywin for the immunity. Okay, I mean, that's fine, honestly. This honestly looks like a Fire Ravi type of game. I could ban protect something different though. I could go for like a Wukong. He's pretty good into Dragon Bride Senya into ML Haste as well, so perhaps we can go down that route. Let's do it. Why not? Let's switch things up a little bit. Let's go Wukong, and who else do we go for? If I want to avoid Fire Ravi, just you know, we've been using her quite a bit, and you guys keep making comments about it. We'll switch things up into a Cowrick. Blood Moon Haze Senya. It does kind of look like a Briar Witch game. Like, it kind of does look like a Briar Witch game to me. Except I don't really want to commit to a Briar Witch. Maybe I go Abyssal Yufine here. How about that? Let's go Abyssal Yufine. Let's see what my opponent's going to pick, because they could go for something like a Fire Ravi. Never mind, they're going to go for Benimaru. Don't know about the Benimaru there. Bellona into the Wukong, kind of cool. What would I want to do into this? Honestly, if we're not going Fire Ravi, might as well go Apoc Ravi here, and we'll just ban out the Bellona. I think we can probably kill the Benimaru. Don't think it's too difficult to do so here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. He's gonna ban out the A Tywin. Ooh, alright. Kinda didn't expect that one, but let's go for it. Triple DPS. I don't really like this type of setup. I wish I probably picked like a different unit other than Abyssal Yufine there. But if I picked a different unit, he could have easily picked 2 fire units into my Wukong and kind of be screwed. Even if I picked a Fire Ravi at the end, he could just easily ban the Fire Ravi. But it makes sense that the Benimarus can be put in the backlines here. We will focus down this Blood Moon Haste, because he didn't protect the Blood Moon Haste, which is kind of nice. DDR's gonna get stripped. He's gonna... yeah, oh my god, it's a lot of damage! Holy! Okay, well DDR is pretty much... oh, wait, he's not going after DDR, he's going after the Abyssal Yufine here. Okay. It's interesting. He's gonna go after Wukong there. Abyssal Yufine, nice little counter. I do like that. No pestilence, no injury being applied here, which is unfortunate. Alright, she might go after the Yufine. Yep, try to kill her. She's ooh, no proc, no death here. That's fine. Wukong, let's go after the Blood Moon Haste. I know he has immunity, but I really just want to try to kill him as soon as possible. So we'll use Yufine to heal up here a little bit. Okay, thankfully he didn't counter. He's probably still killing Yufine. I mean, if this strips, yeah. If this strips, it's pretty much over, because his extra attack's gonna come in. Hardly get any healing on our part here. Benimaru's gonna be asleep. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh shoot. No sleep. Alright. Well, his S1 is definitely going to be killing with his extra attack. The good thing is we can revive with Apoc Ravi. The only issue is... who do we even kill? Because I can't really kill anyone right now. Apoc Ravi, I really need to go after the Blood Moon Haste here. I really need to go after Blood Moon Haste. I don't think I can kill him, not with Senya with Aureus right now, but now that he's weakened, I think we might be able to. So let's go for this. Benimaru's already used his extra attack, so it doesn't really matter. Oh shoot, that sucks. At least we're getting stacks of Wukong's passive here. That's fine. Blood Moon Haste, I really do want to sleep him. Nice, very good. Okay, so we're gonna go after him with Apoc Ravi on the next turn. Should be able to kill, and DDR is so dead here. If DDR wasn't dead here, it would be kind of nice, because then we can guarantee to bring back Abyssal Euphine. Right now it's a 50-50 shot as to whether or not we'll bring back the Euphine. This is a JP player too, kind of spooky. Alright, let's go for this. Alright, that's good. That's really good. So we can go for an S3 here. We'll kill the Blood Moon Haste. Please bring back the Abyssal Euphine. That would be absolutely amazing. Or not, we'll just bring back DDR. Kind of useless with the Benimaru on the other side right now. I kind of don't want to give him the multi-layer barrier and everything. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to kill the Senya here first. So Wukong, he has 3 stacks, so he should be able to kill with an attack buff as well. Oh, beautiful stuff. Very nice. Okay, so now I pretty much don't care what happens. Apoc Ravi's gonna win this in the end. She has a really good matchup into the opponent's team. So into things like Blood Moon Haste and ML Senya, the injury from Apoc Ravi, her sustain, is really strong. As you can see, they just avoided hitting her here. And Wukong is also pretty solid as well, because he ignores the defense penetration from the ML Haste, from the ML Senya, so we're pretty safe here. Now Benimaru can easily try to kill, say easily, but don't know how easily that will work out for him. We have a defense break. We're going to take a lot of damage, but Benimaru's dead, so it doesn't matter. And there you go. So, yeah, no Fire Ravi here, using Wukong instead. I'm surprised my opponent didn't pick Fire Ravi. Honestly, if they did, if they picked Fire Ravi and Bologna, probably would have lost this one, because ML Bologna could easily kill Wukong, and Fire Ravi does have injury with her S3, so you can injury down the A Ravi. Fire Ravi typically wins the A Ravi matchup because you have pretty much the equal amount of sustain. You're very similar kits. It's just that Fire Ravi ends up having injury, which decreases A Ravi's potency over time. And if you do injury down the A Ravi, even a little bit, then her S3 really doesn't hit that hard, which is why she's been struggling, why she's fallen off so much in the meta ever since a bunch of injury units have been, rising to prominence here, namely stuff like ML Shoot. So if you do have Apoc Ravi, keep her around. She's good. She's very solid into these meta picks right now, just to watch out for injury units. I can more easily pick her because I do use stuff like DDR, so do keep that in mind. This guy's the same pre-bans as me, so I basically wasted my pre-bans here. Very nice. We're gonna first pick DDR. Again, to give me that flexibility, I don't have ML Shu, so DDR is really one of my only ways of inflicting injury on players, and if my opponents are playing slow, which, I mean, I'm banning Noctua, I'm banning ML Politis, most people, unless they're cleaving with Ron or Zio, most of the mid-speed options here are gone, so people tend to play slower into these pre-bans anyway, which is why DDR kind of does excel as a first pick. But yeah, let's see. Ooh, double Earth? Not good, right? You don't want to do this when you're drafting. When you're doing this while drafting, especially if you're second pick and you pick 2 Earth units immediately, this is just telling me ban protect a fire unit and I'm pretty much solid. No matter what 4 units he has, my fire unit that's ban protected always has elemental advantage over at least 2 of their units, and it's really terrible for them. So we're going to go ahead and use that to our advantage. So I'm definitely picking Fire Ravi here as a ban protection unit. There's no way around that. I could actually go for something like an Albedo here. She's not terrible. A Tywin's also not bad, but Albedo's pretty decent to Celine, so we'll go ahead and pick the Albedo. and I'll also pick the Fire Ravi. So Albedo mitigates quite a bit of damage, 20% of critical hit damage, right? So you're going to be nullifying a good chunk of Celine's damage with her S3, and especially if she hits into something like a Fire Ravi here. We take 30% less damage because of RTA rules of Frenzy, so it's not terrible. Crimson Armin getting picked up just basically is trying to delay the inevitable. Fire Ravi has injury too into Laia, so it's pretty solid. Genoa getting picked up is fine. We can always ban Genoa. We also have DDR, who happens to be able to sleep, so it's not a huge deal. In fact, into this team, I can probably pick something like an A Tywin as well. A Tywin does provide stunning for the Genoa. We have some control that we can exert over our opponent as well. It would be nice to have something that maybe stripped the immunity buff off of the Crimson Armin, but let's go ahead and just lock in the A Tywin, and could honestly go for... for another Abyssal Euphine play here, why not? If they have a ticking time bomb in the form of Laia, we can have one in the form of Euphine as well. So we're really tanky here. I want to bring another kind of DPS, but that has AoEs, to kind of hit this Celine out of stealth. I do want to kill this Celine as soon as possible, so I have Albedo, I have Abyssal Euphine for this. It's not terrible. Do I want to play against Dragon King Sharoon, or do I want to play against Genoa? Genoa's pretty solid into all of my units here, so I'm going to end up just banning the Genoa. It's fine. We don't need to stun or sleep. If, I mean, Dragon King Sharoon is on the other side, it's fine. So yeah, we'll just do something like this. Give HP imprints to Fire Ravi and Albedo. DDR is also giving imprints to everybody. I really don't want too much effectiveness here, mostly because... I don't really want to land sleeps. I'm not going to be using DDR skills at all here. We're going to try to use Albedo and Fire Ravi to just kind of kill the Celine. There's no, you know, ML Senya or something we have to worry about. We just go after Celine, even if we're dealing less damage because of the Crimson Armin on the other side. But he does have not ban protection. He has a protection set, so he gets barriers at the start, which makes it a little bit harder to reach the Celine. But it should be okay. He's going to push everybody up. That's fine. Dragon King Sharoon into an A Tywin is not terrible, but it's not the best. Because if you S3 here, A Tywin cleanses everything. He gets his rage buff. We're good, right? And Fire Ravi actually countering as well, which is great. So let's see. No debuffs on the team. We have a rage buff on Tywin. He has to S3 with his Celine. Like, he pretty much has to. Because if he doesn't, he's not going to get the evasion buff. So he's going after a Tywin, but that mitigation from the Albedo is helping quite a bit. And look at that. We're going to be able to counter here. And if our 3F actually manages... Ooh, not enough to hit this Celine out of her stealth, but it is not terrible. Now, here's the good thing. Crimson Armin has immunity, right? We're just going to hit Crimson Armin with DDR, so I don't have to pop my skills, and I also don't have to put anyone to sleep. Now I know, Dragon King Sharoon, oh no, why are you doing this, Azza? It doesn't really matter as of right now. I just want to hit this Celine, right? And look at that, she has a defense break on her already. It's really solid. If he does stun us, it doesn't really matter in the end, because, ooh, actually, no, I'm not going to S3 just yet. I'm just going to go after the Dragon King Sharoon right now. Let's go after her. So the reason why is because I want to save Albedo's S3. She can strip, right? She can strip this immunity buff that's on the opponent right now. Everyone has invincibility. It is fine. We're just going to go ahead and let's just go ahead and tap this Sharoon here. It's all good. So Ravi has an S3 ready. There's a defense break on his Celine. Laia just used, by the way, this is important, Laia just used her Sweet Miracle, so we can actually try to stun her and stuff. It should be okay. So the Sharoon, we could try stripping her buffs here. I think it's best to just go for the Laia. Okay, that's not terrible dual attack, that's pretty good. We're at full fighting spirit with Ravi, so it doesn't really matter. Hitting the Albedo once more. Okay, so let's see what Laia's turn cooldown. Okay, she has one more turn. So after her next turn, so she has essentially 2 more turns. She'll have her S3 up. It's fine. Potion Vial on DDR makes it so we're fine. We can actually just hit this Sharoon because she has immunity. When they have immunity, it's great for us because then DDR doesn't have to worry about proccing Sharoon over and over. Let's go ahead and hit here. I basically just need Celine to take, not necessarily another turn. It'd be nice to... She'll lose her defense break, but she does lose her evasion, right? So if she takes this turn before Fire Ravi, pretty good for me. Albedo as well. He's trying to kill Albedo first because she does have her S2 up, and he doesn't want that to hurt him in the end. So let's go for an S3 here. Probably could have gone for Laya as well. His defense break on Laya would help Ravi inflict her injuries, but look at that. We can kill the Dragon King Sharoon now. There's pretty much nothing stopping us. She has an S1. She could hit the Fire Ravi, actually. If she Soul Burns into Fire Ravi, it's pretty good. But she crit, so unfortunately for him, he cleansed. That is the best play, though. Unfortunately for him, he crit, and Fire Ravi does cleanse. So yeah, Celine is now very vulnerable, and Laya gets injured down. So yeah, look at that. Boom. Celine is dead. Or not yet, but Celine is dead here. Celine is dead. And Laya can do whatever she wants. Fire Ravi at this point essentially just wins the game. DDR as well, like, if he doesn't kill DDR with this Laya attack, DDR is just going to injury down everybody, and it's pretty much over. So it's a very solid little game there. Essentially just outlast your opponent's Celine, right? Yes, DDR essentially did nothing there. Basically nothing, except he did do a lot. In the draft, right? Even in the match. And people like to say, like, oh, Celine counters DDR really hard. If you play with DDR, if you play with these units into Celine, you start to notice that there's a limit to what she can really do. Yes, she prevents the opponent from pressing buttons, but you also draft in a certain way against your opponents. That's why people pre-ban DDR quite often. Oh, we don't see it here. This guy bans Flitica and Ron, but that's okay. You see people pre-ban things like DDR because DDR really shapes how your opponent drafts, right? It forces them to draft in a way to kind of counter him, and it is kind of nasty because even if you ban protect a Dragon King Sharoon, DDR can still pop his S2, right? He can still turn cycle the team, provide Pestilence, and provide injury. If you pick Celine, yeah, DDR gets locked down, but he can still S1 and still control some units from time to time. If you pick both Dragon King Sharoon and Celine, it's really strong into DDR, but now you've committed 2 units, and the rest of your draft is going to be kind of difficult to shape unless you have some really powerful carries in there as well. So this is why people tend to go for, at least personally when I'm fighting DDRs, I go for like Fire Ravis, Genuas, those types of things to really up the damage and up the pressure on the opponent. This guy goes for ML Senya again, so I think I'll just go for a Tywin. You're noticing how I'm adapting my Knight pick to my opponent. So if my opponent first picks, let's say they go, you know, Celine or something, I'm probably going to go for Albedo for a more damage-oriented unit. If they go for, like, a Blood Moon Haste, or if they go for Dragon Bride Senya, I'm going to go for the A Tywin instead. A Tywin provides a lot of control. Neither Dragon Bride Senya nor ML Haste has a cleanse in their kit. You can argue ML Senya does when the unit drops below half health. You can also just stun the unit backline and ignore them and kill Dragon Bride Senya, right? A Tywin defense breaks. It's huge. And see, look at this. My opponent yet again making another big drafting mistake. I keep telling you guys this. Don't do this with your RGB units. Celine and Laya picked up yet again. So, I know you guys complain about the Fire Ravi picks being too often, but what do you pick in this case, right? Fire counters the Earth units here, and then we have Dragon Bride Senya that you can injury down, and you can out DPS and outpace, right? So, Fire Ravi locked in. He only has one more pick here to counter my Fire Ravi, and that's about it. So because he has Celine, we'll just go Albedo as again. This is a pretty meta draft, I would say. A Tywin, Albedo, DDR, pretty meta, pretty strong. ML Shu's pretty good into my team. I should probably ban her. She's really solid, actually. She can actually kill Fire Ravi. This is probably a 50-50 kind of matchup. Fire Ravi isn't impacted by injury, but Fire Ravi does take quite a bit of damage from units like ML Shu here. So Power Captain Flan, decent into A Tywin actually, not terrible. What should I pick into this? Probably a Dilibet. Dilibet's gonna be very, very strong here. Yeah, let's go for a Designer Lilibet, and we'll ban the ML Shu because I think we can probably handle this Power Captain Flan. I want to say we can probably handle the Pirate Captain Flan. You can overwhelm a time with debuffs. Oh. Now, I don't know if I agree with that, because Dilibet's really strong here into the Pirate Captain Flan. There are ways to bypass Dilibet. You can soul burn your Pirate Captain Flan, and you can stun the Dilibet before she takes the turn to cleanse, but I think this is okay. We'll give HP imprint from DDR to everybody. Albedo's here, Dilibet has an AoE, a Ravi has an AoE, we can knock the Selene out of stealth, kill her easily, no Blood Moon Haste for pressure here. He's protecting Pirate Captain Flan in the backline, which makes sense because Selene is stealth, but this is really strong for us, really good. Okay, he's gonna try to kill Dilibet first. Our Dilibet is really tanky just for these situations. We don't want her squishy at all, because you want to be able to cleanse. So Dilibet's gonna get knocked back here. It's okay, because we will be able to push forward. Laia can push forward as well, but it's all good. Dilibet should be able to S3. Now, if he pushes up with Laia, it will Selene will take the turn, because he gets 25% combat readiness. But he's not gonna go for it. He actually dual attacked with the Pirate Captain Flan, which pushed up his team. So Selene does get to go. She doesn't have an attack buff or anything. Dilibet does have a defense buff, and Albedo mitigates damage here. So he is going to go for Albedo instead, which is fine. Evasion and barrier, that's all good. Dilibet is just going to go ahead and cleanse the burns. She doesn't cleanse the bombs, but that doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't really matter, because we do get to push up, and now DDR, look at this, Potion Vial just starting to cleanse everything. Let's go ahead and let's just S1 here. Let's sleep the Pirate Captain Flan. Or not, we don't have to sleep, I guess. It's all good. Let's go for the Selene. She's not in stealth. Ooh, it actually hit. Ooh, that's huge. Alright. So he can stun the DDR. He can also hit Fire Ravi. He can probably just stun Fire Ravi here, prevent her from killing the Selene. Good play. Oh, but we resist. That's unfortunate for him. So he loses Selene there. Yikes. That's painful. Sorry about that, buddy. If he crit as well, there's a chance the Pirate Captain Flan can crit. If she crits as well, it's kind of sad. So... Oh wait, never mind, she doesn't crit. I'm thinking of the old Pirate Captain Flan. Oh my god, how long has that been? So, this is okay. Let's just go for DDR. There's no reason not to. Laia is pretty far back. We can push up the team with DDR. No Selene to keep us in check anymore. We got really lucky with this, by the way. If he did stun Fire Ravi, we'd probably need to take another turn to kill Selene, but... in the end, I think this is okay. We're gonna go ahead and start DPSing down the Laia, stacking Venom on her so that her S3 is not gonna be as potent. I am gonna just keep Albedo nice and healthy here with her S3 available, so we can S3 into the Senya later. I just want to kill this Laia. That's all I really want to do right now. Yes, we'll just go for this. I don't want to proc the ML Senya, so I'm not gonna S3 with Ravi. Just gonna keep going ahead and DPSing down this Senya. Look at that. Look at the injury that's on her right now. We'll sleep the Pirate Captain Flan. Again, there's... oh, shoot, there's no sleep. Like I said, there... oh, when has DDR ever landed to sleep on S1 when I needed him? But yeah, see, there's no real cleansing on the other side. ML Senya, as long as we ignore this Pirate Captain Flan, we're good. This is a pretty... yeah, it's just not the hardest hitting Pirate Captain Flan, which is good for us. And there you go. ML Senya goes down, and this whole team pretty much gets the steamroll over that. Pirate Captain Flan would have been a nice pick. I think he should have kept the A Tywin in and banned the Dilibet. That way you can at least overwhelm the A Tywin with debuffs. You can only cleanse once per turn and only one debuff off everybody. Dilibet allows you to turn cycle. She cleanses quite a bit too. And that AoE from her, she's a damage dealer. So she was able to hit that Selene as well and help us out there, breaking her out of stealth. Right? So Albedo, again, Albedo and AoE units are really good into Selene. Hit her out of stealth, she becomes really vulnerable, and then you can easily take care of her. So if you're kind of trying to adopt a similar playstyle, do keep things in mind like this Hopefully, by the way, the commentary is helping you guys. I'm trying to be a bit more analytical today, because I know Emma Luna's on the horizon, and everyone's kind of hyped for that. So I'm trying to give you guys some pointers and tips before we dive into the hype when we start summoning for her. So if you don't want to miss out on that, or if you just enjoy these commentaries and analysis and insight, do subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. And leave a like as well, because it helps get that video out there. You can help more players learn to play RTA. But yeah, let's go ahead and see. Genoa's banned. I kind of like that. Let's go ahead and ban the DDR. Seems pretty solid to me. And what else? What else do we do? Laya. And again, if you're picking Laya into DDR, it's fine, but don't pick Laya Celine. You saw how we easily ran over the Laya Celine players with a Fire Ravi, right? Abyssal Euphine is probably not the best unit to pick early on either. Elvira really shuts down Abyssal Euphine, and she doesn't have as much potency with her counterattacks as Emma Landy does. Emma Landy doesn't care about Elvira, but Abyssal Euphine does, because most of her damage comes from that S3, right? So what we can do here is we can try to focus down the... we can find a unit that kind of focuses down this Abyssal Euphine. We could probably go for an Elvira here. It's not terrible, but I'm kind of worried that we're going to get countered. You do need a very strong DPS as well if you're going to go Elvira, so we're going to go Elvira, and I'm just going to pick, again, I know, but there's a Laya on the other side. You need a unit that can solo Laya, because if Laya goes, and some people still complain about Laya being so strong, being able to one-shot things, if you're afraid of Laya, pick Fire Ravi, pick a damage mitigation unit with Aureus, you'll be fine, because elemental disadvantage units, when they attack in RTA, they have 30% less damage. So Laya's S3, when she soul burns it, take away 30% of that damage when it hits Fire Ravi, then take 20% of that damage and share it with your Aureus user, you're hardly taking anything at all, right? It's really hard to kill Fire Ravi with a Laya, and if you have Elvira, it really locks down this Abyssal Euphine, and it locks down your opponent from picking other Fighting Spirit units. So again, it's a very, very strong pick. Now, Elvira is in this bannable slot, and I prefer putting her there just because, like, if your opponent's going to be banning the Elvira, you can tell what they're going to do here. If they pick another Fighting Spirit unit or two, you know they're going to be banning Elvira. You can just pick 2 free units here and absolutely steamroll your opponent. My opponent also just kind of ran out of time here, so they're going for Crimson Armin and Navy Captain Landy. Not great choices. Again, one of the reasons why Fire Ravi is so good in ban protection slot, in my opinion, is that Navy Captain Landy dies to Fire Ravi. You have guaranteed crits against her, right? Definitely not a terrible unit. People still have a hard time struggling against this Navy Captain Landy, but it's not terrible, right? It's not terrible. In fact, into this team, I can probably pick Bibulus and a Knight, and we're good. He has to ban Elvira now because he has 2 units that rely on Fighting Spirit, so we get a free unit that kind of counters his counterattack units. And I can also just go for a Knight here for some mitigation. Now, the Knight for mitigation can vary. I could actually go Albedo. It's not bad. Dragon Bride Senya is also not terrible. Last Rider Kral's pretty good too. So let's go for Dragon Bride Senya. Let's do that. Dragon Bride Senya allows me to protect my Fire Ravi in the backline quite well. DDR, by the way, is unchecked in this match, so we can easily sleep the Crimson Armin, the Laya. We don't really care all too much. So Dragon Bride Senya adds another layer of protection for my DPS units. That's not bad. You can also, again, a Tywin can defense break, Fire Ravi can just kill everything. You could easily go for Albedo here. Albedo would be good into anti-crit units like Landy. You don't care. 3F, just keep turn cycling. You can get that unbuffable, get that defense break here as well. We just banned the last unit. We've already prepared our team to fight the first 4 units, so no need to fight the last units here. And he's letting Elvira stay. I don't know how I feel about that, actually. Do we keep DDR in the backline, or do we keep Fire Ravi in the backline? I think it's probably best to keep Fire Ravi. DDR is going to be good, but I don't think they're really going to be able to really target him too much. Landy doesn't really care all that much, right? So let's go for it. Landy doesn't care all that much because she can't be slept, right? And eventually, you know, he will be able to. Ooh, he's just going out. Ooh, he's trying to luck sack my Elvira here too bad it's not going to happen. I am just going to go for an S2. I don't think I need an S3 just yet. Just go ahead and S2 so we can put some injury down on people. I think going after Navy Captain Landy is probably the best option here, so we're going to use our Elvira, who, by the way, has a bit of effectiveness in her build. She has about 100 effectiveness, 50% from the effectiveness buff here, so we get that defense break. Unfortunately, no one healable, but it's fine. Ravi's in the back line, so watch this. We're just going to go ahead and slap this Landy down. She is the main source of damage, and she's immune to DDR, so by killing her here, she's dead. Fire Ravi's going to kill with that defense break. Boom, boom. And it's over. Abyssal Euphine can never S3 because we have Elvira, and Crimson Armin and Laya are pretty much going to die to the injury that we inflict, and Laya can't win against DDR. So when you're up against these teams, prioritize, you know, the correct unit to take down first. You see when there's Blood Moon Haste, always focus him down first, right? If there's an ML Senya and there's a backline unit, I tend to go after those, the ML Senya first before the backline unit. DDR here, we're just going to pop our skills. I don't care that Crimson Armin, you know, hasn't popped her Shin, or she popped her S3, but I don't really care about her in general right now. I just want to injury down this Laya, because she's the next biggest threat. Abyssal Euphine will never be able to cleanse herself, and she'll never be able to do anything that'll harm us in the long run. So, let's go for... Let's just go for the Abyssal Euphine here. It doesn't really do anything, and just put some Venom on. And this will strip one buff. Nice, we got the Beguile, okay. So Laya gets to go. She does have her S2, so she can cleanse, but look at her. She's 19k health. She's really not going to be able to do all that much now. Okay, so he's going to S1, that's fine. Ravi cleanses the attack down. We can now S3, and this will inflict even more injury onto this Laya. She's pretty much going to be injury capped at this point, which DDR's damage is going to be insane too. We stun the Laya, which is great. Elvira is still immortal, we're fine. We just pretty much go for... At this point you can go for Crimson Armin, you can go for Laya, it doesn't really matter. Laya's full injury capped, so I'm just going to go for the Crimson Armin. And DDR has a Potion Vial. He's going to try to provoke. Ooh, no provoke there. So we get our Potion Vial, replenish the S2. Alright. And at this point, I could go for... Let's go for a Crimson... I mean, Abyssal Euphine doesn't matter, because, even if you provoke her, like, she'll AoE anyway, she doesn't do anything. Laya lost that turn, by the way, because we already procced Sweet Miracle in the previous turn, so we're good here. Fire Ravi gets hit up, she has a Soul Burn, we can easily finish off this, this Laya here. And again, ignore that Abyssal Euphine, because Elvira pretty much won that matchup single-handedly. In fact, we could kill the Crimson Armin. I'm just gonna sleep the Abyssal Euphine. Boom, look at that. Look at that. And now, we're gonna be AoEing anyway with Elvira, so just attack that Abyssal Euphine, and there you go. So, hopefully, you guys are gonna take away some pretty nice little points here in terms of, you know, what to draft, how I'm drafting, why I'm drafting the units I'm drafting, and priorities in terms of playing and killing your opponent's units. But with that being said though, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.